So, name the game show that suffered a huge embarrassment last week.
Yeah, we're all on this. The answer is, what is Jeopardy? The host that Sony picked to replace Alex Trebek was the show's executive producer, Mike Richard. He did a 2-week guest hosting stint in February where he paid tribute to Alex.
He was an idol of mine, and I will work every day to try to live up to the example he set. So, with that in mind, Sam, Aaron, and Francis, good luck. This is for you, Alex. Here are the categories. Welcome to Jeopardy.
But last week, just after he started taping the new season, things went horribly wrong for Richards. A website called The Ringer found podcasts that he did several years ago in which he made joking comments about coworkers, women, and Jews.
Yeah, and that forced Richards to step down as host, although he will remain executive producer, and it's opened up the search again to find the replacement for Alex Trebek.
It is a huge debacle for one of TV's greatest game shows. So here to discuss it with us is Professor Robert Thompson of Syracuse University. His expertise is television and pop culture. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, this has been a roller coaster ride. So what does this mean for Jeopardy? Can the show just brush it off and go back as they did before, trying out these guest hosts?
Well, ultimately it can. I mean, Jeopardy can survive this. They need to get rid of this guy, which they've done on one level. But, you know, he is, as you pointed out, still executive producer of the show, which I think is... This has been handled ham-handedly from the very beginning, and it still is. I mean, this guy is bad enough that he can't host it, and I agree, he shouldn't be hosting, but he's not bad enough that they're going to get rid of him as the boss of the show.
Yeah.
So,
he can run it, but he can't host it. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
What is that all about? And it's not just me pointing that out. John Oliver, Stephen Colbert, every late-night host is pointing this out. And then that, of course, brings us to why didn't they know these podcasts exist? It wasn't like they were in some encoded secret society. He was the executive producer of Price is Right while he did these podcasts, and it was about behind the scenes at the Price is Right. And of course, they've been the sacred space of Alex Trebek. Every episode has been dedicated to him. Every new host that comes on talks about how wonderful he is. And now they've replaced him with a guy that really comes off as a creep, the opposite of what Jeopardy is supposed to be.
Okay, and let's also talk about Ryan Reynolds weighing into this space, tweeting out about LeVar Burton. Talk about bringing in somebody who ends up being, kind of a fan favorite. If you've got that much of a groundswell of support, can Jeopardy just ignore it and keep plowing forward with something else?
Well, and that's the other thing. They had, 14 people, 13, I guess, if we don't count Mike Richards. So 14 people already auditioned for this, though they said they weren't auditions, but it looked like that. Then it went to the inside job. So essentially, this made a whole bunch of people mad who were supporting all the rest of them. LeVar Burton, who didn't by any means get the highest ratings of the bunch, certainly seems to have the most love sent out to him. So they've managed to maximize every bad public relations thing from the start of this to the end. But again, Jeopardy will survive this as long as they put somebody in there who in fact doesn't have to be apologizing the day after he or she starts taping.
But here's what's so interesting. It doesn't seem like it's that hard to host Jeopardy, right? I mean, what qualities does the host need? Because it seems most of these guests are doing pretty good at it.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably harder than it looks. I think if I got up there and tried to host Jeopardy, I'd stumble over the words. I couldn't read the cards. I think all 14 who did it in these past months, I think did a very credible and
But they're also using professionals who are used to being in front of audiences, who are used to public speaking. So for them, it may not be as hard.
Yeah. And they did make it look easy. Mm-hmm. So I think it's, there's two things. There's one, you got to get someone who can do the job. Two, someone that's not going to enrage the public because you didn't hire their favorite. And then three, someone who, in fact, doesn't have a bunch of things that are going to be revealed down the line that show how not Alex Trebekian they are.
And do you think Richards can survive this as EP, or does he get bounced?
If I were running Jeopardy, I would not survive him. I mean, I think that sends a message that, yes, we know this is bad, so we're taking him out of the host position.
Right.
But okay with it to have him be the boss. Oh, the other complication of this is he shot 5 episodes, and not just any old 5 episodes. They're with this guy who is on the run to become the highest winner of all time. He's at number 3 as we speak. So they can't get rid of those episodes. So Mike Richards, come September or whenever that the new seasons start, is going to, in fact, by all accounts, appear for the first 5 episodes.
What a mess.
It's made for TV for sure.
Oh, my goodness. That's a very good point. All right, Robert Thompson, Syracuse University professor of television and pop culture. Thank you for being here and breaking it all down for us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.